Hornets at Lakers, Game 2 on Wednesday. And this is Marco's best bet. Give it to us.
Not going to ask me my record this week?
Let's give some facts, and then we'll get to the right. I'm guessing.
Last week you couldn't wait to ask me when you knew I didn't have it.
Well, all right, what's your record?
I'm not telling you the later now. All right, Zen Master lockdown on this one. The Lakers were embarrassed on Sunday. Absolutely pathetic game from the Lakers. They played that game, RJ. To me, watching that, I thought I was watching a Laker game from the middle of February. That, just a normal everyday game that they just thought they could show up and they were going to win. Chris Paul went off for 30-some points, actually took over the fourth quarter. Lakers will come out, and the public's going to want to back the Lakers, and I'm not going to go that route. I'm going to go with the under in this game because defense is going to be the key. And Phil Jackson, throughout his career, has always been known more for his defense than his offensive schemes to me. And you'll see the Lakers put a lockdown on New Orleans, especially Chris Paul.
Okay, a lot of subjects here. The first question is, when most people think of Phil Jackson, they think the triangle offense. I'm assuming what you're meaning is that really wasn't his baby. It was what, Tex Winter, and then so you're saying that in general you think that Jackson's teams have been defensive teams?
That to me is what I had, put. I mean, the Bulls, when they had Jordan and everything, they weren't scoring in 120 points a game. I mean, this is a team that played and executed a good offense, which also took up clock. When you're talking, totals, you're looking at numbers of possessions as well. But they clamped it down on defense, and Phil Jackson knows defense wins championships, and that's what you're going to see here from an embarrassed Laker team, in my opinion.
So what I'm hearing is that the Lakers' poor performance means focus for LA. The public is identifying that as the Lakers winning the game handedly. Thus, you're paying a premium to zigzag in this case. Lakers have a premium to start with. Now you're paying an extra premium because of the zigzag. Now, what's the line difference from game to game?
The first game opened up Lakers 9.5 and 185. Ended up closing at 10 and 183.5. This game opened up 11. So you're laying 1.5 more with the Lakers because they lost that first game from the first opener. And the over-under moved up
if I'm seeing this right, it's up to 11.5 now.
It's up to 11.5. So not only did you start out laying a premium, the public still didn't care and is going to go ahead and take the Lakers, which is classic. We know to expect that with the Lakers.
Now, we had, I thought, quite a good podcast with Vegas Butcher. He's a forum guy. And we went into pretty great length about trap games. Mm-hmm. And did you happen to listen to
I did happen to listen to it.
The whole idea of the model or the projected score at first, with the basic arithmetic considered, and then saying, is there a reason for this line to be off? And if so, if I can identify it, then I'm going to bet it for value. If I can't identify it, I might think there's a trap game. How does the line's up 4 points, the total is up 4 points, 183.5 to 187.5. How aren't you thinking, oh my God, this is a trap? What makes you identify and say, I see why this line has gone up?
Because the first game went over by such a big margin. It was
right,
109,
so it's overreaction.
109 to 100. They blew by it by 20-some points. Vegas has to make an adjustment, and because it is the Lakers, you're going to have more public money on this game, and we always say the public...
More public money relative to what? No, the Sunday Laker game.
Well, just the other games on that night.
Agreed.
Okay, the Lakers are always going to be the most bet game on the schedule.
I agree with that.
Then you throw in the factor, if you are betting the over-under, we've said it 100 times, if not thousands. You put 100 people in a room, blindly, more people are going to bet the over on a game, not knowing anything about it, just because of the mentality, you're never out of it with an over. So they have to move this line. They made a huge adjustment. This is a 4-point adjustment. That's huge. One thing that whenever I said that they played, I made the statement, they played the game like it was a Tuesday where, how many times in the NBA, that's one of the problems during the regular season. You never know when a team's going to mail a game in. The key to me was New Orleans only had 3 turnovers in this game on Sunday. Now, looking back at their last 5 games, they averaged double digits on turnovers in all of those games. 5 straight games, they had 11 or more turnovers. So the fact that they only had 3, you could say one thing, well, did they play that great of a game? Or no, the Lakers weren't in their face defensively to force it. And that's the way I'm reading it.
You know, I got to tell you, there's nothing here I disagree with. In fact, I love it because I always love going on the under. I like an overreaction to this is a classic old school play, wise guy play, and sometimes that's the right side, and that's the thing about you. You can identify the traps as well, I think, better than anyone, and then you also can find the value when appropriate. Now, this question came up. What percentage, what Vegas Butcher said, and by the way, you can check out that podcast at pregamepodcast.com with all the other podcasts. He said, oh, I wonder if Marco puts more of his smaller unit plays as trap games, or is it more of his bigger plays or trap games? And my gut feeling was that your confidence level on trap games is higher in general.
Absolutely. It's something that, you know, the trap, we try to explain it so many times, but there's a part of the trap that comes down to just feel and experience that I've had over the years. And when I get that and I see it in a game, those games, you know, generally when I bet them, they're in my upper echelon.
So what is your best bet record?
My best bet record for the basketball season, 8-4 after last week's winner, which last
I got
week
66.66%.
You're sharp.
Real quick.
You're real quick. And if you add that to the football record, we went 13-7 during the football season. So that's 21-11, sir, since
it's a little
August.
less so it's slightly less than 66 points. So you can get over that hump.
I can get over that hump for you, sir.
Now, how'd you do last week on your picks?
We went 2-0 with the 2 video picks. We nailed the best bet, which was the under in the Portland-Dallas game.
Now, what did I think of that one?
You gave a thumbs up on that one because my compelling,
hey,
presentation.
I listen.
And then you were neutral on the other one, which I called for New Orleans on Sunday against the Lakers, which surprised me because you usually
I agree.
fade the Lakers.
I think, and that kind of segues to the point with the Lakers. I think the Lakers have taken lackadaisicalness to another level. Usually it's sometimes in the playoffs be lackadaisical. Now, sometimes in the regular season, never in the playoffs. Now I think they figure, listen, we split at home, we get one on the road. I mean, it just feels like they're just looking for game. They don't care if they go Game 7 every time, it seems like.
Like we talked about that game on Sunday, the fact that they beat New Orleans all 4 times during the regular season, I think just the Lakers looked like a team that felt all we had to do was show up and we were going to win. And they got surprised, that's for sure.
Now, what I want to do is real quick talk about how maybe the Hornets here, even though there's a lot of value, it seems maybe isn't the play. Clearly, I agree with you on the under, but my point is this. Some teams are good as front runners, and some teams are good with their back against the wall. And some teams are both, the rarest team. Lakers are a back against the wall kind of team. So to me, when they do have a quote-unquote must-win, though in truth it's not truly a must-win, that I think that's when I want to back them. But since there's always going to be a premium on them, especially must-win spots, I don't back them. But the premium sometimes can be right. It's more than maybe the power rankings say, but there's a reason it's more. And to me, to just what the old school wise guys used to do is blindly say, this is too many points. I think that this is the kind of game that if you, certainly I don't want to be on the Lakers, but I'm not sure there's enough value on the Hornets because, I've been repeating this on the podcast, in fact, the number one advantage a player has is he doesn't have to ever play. You can wait until, and it gets advanced with the risk assessment and the money management. But if you play more on less games, you can about equate out to playing less on more games. Now, what the exact math is complicated. But to me, I think most people should probably lower the volume. I also think most people probably should lower their amounts, which I just think people bet too much, and that's why when they go 3-14, which inevitably happens, they go broke.
Right.
But to me, if one of the takeaways here is there's kind of a reason for there to be a Laker premium past the side, I think that's probably good advice.
There is one thing I'll say that you've got to be concerned with a team like New Orleans in this situation, the mental aspect. When they start a series, now obviously you know if you can go up 2-0, you want to go up 2-0, but there's a mental aspect that all we got to do is split on the road. And when an inferior team gets that first game and steals the win, sometimes they can mail in that second game just because now they're complacent, which you never should be in the playoffs.
Which is sort of the whole zigzag premise.
Exactly.
But we're paying for it.
You're paying a premium here, and that's why there's no value.
All right, it's your turn to continue the conversation, the comment.
Coupon.
Oh, we got a since this is the best bet, we've got a coupon.
That's why he's the producer.
He's the producer. That's why he gets the big bucks.
Yeah. We're going to go with playoffs, plural, and the number 10. That's playoffs and the number 10 all together. You enter that in the coupon code at checkout, and you get $10
You go to pregamepros.com.
Pick your favorite capper.
Pick whatever you want. Check out. If it's if it's $10 or less, you get it free, but it knocks $10 off anything.
Absolutely.
And we give us away each week on the best bet.
We do.
Which you're slightly below 66.66% on. Now it's your turn to continue the conversation in the comment section with Marco and me. And next up, we're going to be talking. What game are we talking next?
We're going Wednesday night, Miami, Philadelphia, and I'm going to tell you, get your pen and paper because Professor Marco's giving a teaching lesson.
I can't top that. See you then.